We begin part two of our walk up Ninth Avenue in New York City at the corner of 18th and Ninth. Noticeable in this photo, of course, is the bank at the corner, and as is the case in many photos, everything's chopped up in the street. That has to do with replacing aging water mains, putting in new natural gas lines, and so on and so forth. Eventually that will get patched up, but as I said in the previous version, we just have to accept it since I took the choice of photographing in 360 photos, which shows everything, even the stuff I really would prefer to avoid. As we continue our walk up Ninth Avenue, we are now between 18th and 19th Street, and what's noticeable here are several unique businesses and shops, which is kind of in the area of West Chelsea, which is where we are at the moment. As we approach 19th Street, we see a pizza shop on the corner. However, if you really look at this photo, you'll notice the bicycle lane, or bike lane for short. Most of Manhattan, in fact, most of New York City, including the other boroughs, have now got dedicated bicycle lanes. And as a rule, they are constructed to be along the curb. And they're pretty clever in a sense that it forces the cars away from the bikes except at the turn-ins. But the turn-ins of the cars are created in such a way that through various means, including the side view and rear view mirrors, you kind of notice the bicycles whether you want to or not before turning into them. So all in all, it seems to be pretty clever, and most bicyclists love the new bike lanes. We are still at 19th Street and Ninth Avenue, but we have a much better view of this particular side street and also a reasonably good view of Ninth Avenue, just to show you the ambiance of the neighborhood. Again, this is West Chelsea, which is very much residential with lots of shops scattered here and there. Approaching 20th Street, we still see lots of examples of the small specialty shops if you look at ground level. We also see some older brownstones with fire escapes. And if you look at the northwest corner, you'll see a brand new building, relatively new, say in the last 5, 10 years. And if you look in the northeast corner, you'll see something between the old brownstones with the fire escapes and between the new building, as is in the northwest corner. If you look at the northeast corner, that building probably was built between the time of the older one and the newer one. We are now at 20th Street and Ninth Avenue. Again, a pretty good view of West Chelsea. And if you look way uptown, which is north, just beginning to see a little bit better, or I should say a little bit better and more clearly, some high rises, really high skyscrapers. That area generally is in the new Hudson Yards or close to it, and eventually we'll be getting closer and closer to that. That is all new at this time, which is 2018. On the northwest corner of 21st and Ninth, you'll see this small, cute, kind of old looking bungalow type home right on the corner. That was the original home of James N. Wells, W-E-L-L-S. He's famous in New York because he's the gentleman that started the neighborhood of Chelsea. This home has been fixed up over the years, but that is sort of an architectural point of interest for the whole area of Chelsea. We are still at the corner of 21st Street and 9th Avenue with the James N. Wells home much easier to see. Incidentally, the original home on that location was built in 1833. It has, needless to say, been fixed up since then. We are now between 22nd and 23rd Street, still on 9th Avenue, of course. And as is noticeable in this photo, the commercialization of the area on the ground level has become more intense. There are two reasons for that. First, we're approaching 23rd Street, which is a huge east-west commercial street. And secondly, we're approaching London Terrace, which is an enormous complex of apartments on 23rd Street. And so we save the best for last. We're now at 23rd Street with a commanding view of an enormous apartment complex called London Terrace. London Terrace runs from 9th to 10th Avenue, from 23rd to 24th Street, and in effect encompasses one entire square block of Manhattan. The land on which those 1,700 apartments was built was originally owned by a gentleman named Clement Clarke Moore, and he is the person who wrote "'Twas the Night Before Christmas."